afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks, bringing you the top stories from Israel and the region every Monday to Thursday, right here on this platform and also on our YouTube channel at the Israel Brief. And if you click on the big red subscribe button, you too can bring the news from Israel out to the masses. And I have to tell you that today is a beautiful day to make peace. All eyes will be on Washington later today as the United States, the delegations from Israel, the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain, and rumor is that we will be joined by Oman, another Gulf state, will be present at the signing of the now historic Abraham Accords. The Israeli daily Israel National News is reporting that Oman will be there in the capacity to witness this signing. Really incredible moments, not just for Israel, but also for the region. This incredible historic day of peace that will be attended by about 700 people who will congregate at the White House, and a lot of discussion underway at the moment whether or not to wear masks, to not wear masks. It's a true sign of the times when these are the biggest debates happening. Unfortunately, the Palestinians have declared today a day of rage, and in today's edition of the Times of Israel, there is a high-ranking UAE official saying that, it's time for the Palestinians to help themselves. But peace with Israel for the UAE will not be conditional on demands of the Palestinians. So real shifting sands in this part of the world. And so far what we can report is that memorandums of understanding have been signed between the UAE and Israel in the fields of banking, medicine and science. Very exciting. Earlier today, Israel's Foreign Minister Gabi Ashkenazi lauded the bravery of the UAE and their movement to make peace with Israel, and called on the Palestinians to follow this example. And in a historic first, Defense Minister Benny Gantz has spoken to his Bahraini counterpart. So peace is breaking out in the Middle East. Who would have thought it a little while ago? But it is all possible, and we will be watching the White House today, I think, with a lot of excitement and a lot of emotion. And if you want to watch the ceremony, the event will start at around about 7 o'clock Israel time, and the actual signing is rumored to take place at about 8 o'clock Israel time. And if you are able to stream Israeli news services, you will be sure to catch it there. But in other news, not so positive news, is that we are just a few days before another full lockdown here in the state of Israel, and infections are at an all-time high at nearly 5,000 in the last 24 hours. And the health ministry have said that if we do not go into a lockdown situation, we could have a dire situation like we've seen in some of the other countries where people are literally dying in the streets. Strong words perhaps, but what has been imposed are very strict fines should anybody be caught breaking the lockdown, and the security establishment will be setting up hundreds of checkpoints throughout the country to ensure that everybody adheres to the lockdown rules. So a lot of dissatisfaction, a lot of Israelis feeling that perhaps we are being collectively punished for some people flouting the social distancing and the coronavirus laws, but as you can imagine, not a happy festive mood heading into the high holy days. And our last bit of news takes us to Serbia, and Serbia has become the latest country to recognize the whole of Hizbollah, the Iranian proxy terror organization, as a terror organization and effectively ban them. And this follows a positive trajectory of many countries around the world, including Argentina and South America, declaring Hizbollah a terror entity. Those are the top stories making headlines. Tomorrow we'll be sure to report back on the historical signing. But in the meantime, check out our content. We post original content to our website. You can check us out at www.layoftheland.com. online, you can read Richard Shavet-Zion's article appealing to both the religious and the secular to please respect the sensitivity around supporting each other and keeping each other safe during the coronavirus pandemic. It's also on our Facebook page, and if you're there and you haven't already, please give us a like and a follow. We are heading towards our 2,000 mark target, and we hope you will help us get there. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Israel Brief by clicking on the red subscribe button, and follow us on Twitter at LayOfTheLad5. So with peace in my heart and a lot of cheer, I'm Rolene Marks, this is the Israel Brief, and we'll chat again tomorrow.